Hey guys, this is Tim and James with Tabletop Terrors. Today we have another RPG a Day video supporting BrigadeCon. You can check that out at brigadecon.org. We'll definitely talk a little more about it at the end. Today is number 27. Describe the most unusual circumstance or location in which you have gamed.
So, the one that springs to mind for me is actually just recently, and you were there. We have been filming a D&D Basics series. Now, the RPG a Day videos, we're putting one of those up every day or more. So, we're not really putting up any of the other videos for now, but as we were filming that and continue to, we went straight from here to a local barbecue restaurant called Sonny's. And it's, all you can eat ribs, chicken, pulled pork, that kind of thing, and then you can get your normal barbecue sides like baked beans, fries, blah, blah, blah. So I'm there with my family. My cousin Charlie is sitting across from me. My cousin Cole's sitting next to me. We're all just eating, And, I show up, I sit down, and it comes up like, oh, hey, well, what were you up to? Charlie, my cousin, sitting across from me. He has never played Dungeons and Dragons.
He's heard the name. In fact,
right.
I'm sure that together, when it came out, we watched the movie Dungeons and Dragons, the famously bad one that as a kid I loved.
Sure.
But I didn't realize how bad it was. But
yeah.
But never played probably a tabletop RPG.
Right. And so we're sitting there and he's like, well, so what are you guys doing? I was like, oh, okay. Well, we work. We have an indie publishing company called Absolute Tabletop, and we have I was going to say a tabletop channel called YouTube. We have a YouTube channel.
We own YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, man, that would be nice. I was just telling him, kind of explaining.
Think of how many views our videos would get if that were the case. Sorry. Go ahead.
50 trillion. The conversation kind of went toward, well, what exactly is D&D? Like, what really is it? And so I proceeded to run a session similar to the one that we posited in the first D&D Basics video, which is just collaborative storytelling. I know my cousin Charles, we call him Charles, Chaalz, Charles. It autocorrects in my phone. So I was telling Charles, I know he loves Batman. He loves the bat. So I just set him up. I was like, I know he's going to eat this right up. I said, okay, here's the story. You are Bruce Wayne. You are at a dinner party, and you see that the bat signal has just been activated. What do? And instinctively, he's like, well, what kind of dinner party? Like, how? He starts asking me these questions, and I kind of start going along with it. And I'm like, well, it's tough. You have to speak. You just donated a bunch of money as Bruce Wayne, and you need to speak in 10 minutes. But the bat signal has been on for at least 4 or 5, and it's urgent. What do? And we start kind of going back and forth. And, he starts asking me questions like, well, which Batman am I? You know what I mean? And just all these fun questions. But to me, that totally counts as a session, at least a mini one.
Well, and then basically you were like, all that, and he's kind of a little confused because you haven't mentioned D&D for about 5 minutes.
Right,
now.
And then I was like, and then I told him, I was like, that's exactly what you do.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that's tight. In fact, we talked about having him on as part of our basic series. One of the things I wanted to do is bring in people who've never played before and just have them ask us questions.
Yeah.
And so he agreed to do that. So you'll probably see Charles on here at some point. But to me, that's my answer. That's probably the strangest, the most unusual location or situation I've run a game, which is at a Sonny's over barbecue with someone who's never played any kind of role-playing game, pretending that he's
using a made-up diceless system.
Yep.
I would have to say that mine, and this is not a very unusual circumstance, but
I call it the Dry Rub 20 system. Memphis Dry Rub style dice.
Memphis Dry Rub 20.
I'm rolling ribs.
You got the mustard sauce splat book.
I'm like, all right, I put a hash mark on this side of the rib, and we flip it.
And we flip it.
And then we eat it like goblins.
And then we eat it, because it doesn't matter what landed on. It's good either way.
Hey!
But my most unusual circumstance, I told this story once on what we call a good Abtabternoon, sort of a live stream we do on the Absolute Tabletop Facebook page.
Yep.
Usually a couple times a week, about lunchtime Eastern. And mine was when we launched Absolute Tabletop, our publishing company, with me, Tim, Matt Click from A Fistful of Dice, and Barker from Be a Better Game Master. Our release day, we recently found out, was September 4th.
Yeah.
September 4th.
Happy birthday.
Before we had decided that would be our launch day, probably a month or two back, I committed to running a game, to DMing probably one of my first games in a very long time, and definitely the first time I had run a real campaign that I knew would run about 6 sessions. And it was me, you, Cassandra, my now fiance, T the writer, and Mike Lasham from Mike the Piper. And I was supposed to run this game, but I sort of didn't get a chance to prep because then, like I said, I mean, it feels like you have a long time until the game is going to happen.
Right.
But then we started working really hard on Absolute Tabletop. We wanted to make sure it launched. We were doing a lot of stuff. And I stayed up the whole night before, getting the website ready and putting some finishing touches on stuff. And then I went to work that day. So, I mean, so I don't sleep well anyway. I'm always going to bed late, wake up early. I stay up all night. I go to work. I get home and I can't take a nap because I have to run this game. And so basically I ran a session with very little prep. I had an idea. I'd been thinking about it, but I had nothing written. And it was the first session, so I was very nervous.
That is to me, that's the stinger. It was session 1.
It was session 1. It wasn't all right, we can kind of, what do you guys want to do?
We know your characters. Okay, you have this plot hook. You have this. It
was we're starting out.
Bare white canvas.
And
you're leaned up against
no
sleep.
And that's the funny thing is I super had gotten my second wind. I wanted to take a nap, but by this point after I got home from work, I'm wide open. My body's let's do this.
It was a Friday, right?
It was, yeah. So the next day was Saturday. That was very good news, but I was running this game, and we run the game, and I think it went relatively well. But
yeah, no, it was great.
That was absolutely the craziest circumstance. Absolutely no prep. And
absolutely tabletop.
Absolutely tabletop. I had launched a publishing company with 3 other people. I didn't sleep, and I didn't have any prep, and that is the most unusual circumstance I've ever run a game in.
The tension builder in that story is that as we are going live, I think I was pulling in, because I was going to play the game here. I pull in to James's neighborhood, and either Barker or Matt was hey, the site's down.
Oh, yeah.
So it's day 1. We just launched our company. We're trying to get people to come.
And it's a blur.
You're talking let's
it's
say
8 o'clock, I think.
I was going to say, let's say the game starts at 8, right? I think it was 8. Because
yeah, 8 sounds right. Because that's what I mean. I had no time. I got home from work at 6. I had a little bit of time to walk the dog, feed the cats, whatever, and I'm then we're playing.
I get here, I set up, James set up, we're all set up, we're good, boom, 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 and...
Session 1,
the hangout starts, and we're about to go live. And we get a message that's hey guys, the website's not working. And I thought, poor James. James.
I'm I just can't. And it was because so many people, I think we sort of got a second wave of people that were getting our email newsletter and stuff from the UK and stuff. So it was normal stuff, but I was just who knows what it could be, and I need to go to sleep. So
Kirk Cameron.
That is absolutely the most unusual circumstance.
So what's yours? What's the most unusual circumstance
or location? Because we didn't. Well, you did location. You super did location.
I did, and we'll say in which you've gamed. Now,
that could be.
If you want to cheat, you could say video games, but you're a cheater.
But
and I won't.
I would say this isn't cheating, but you could say board games.
That's what I was going toward, but I wanted to cut.
If you played Hive
video games
in the movie
at the neck, but Pokemon's Go is legitimized. If you want to tell us,
this is what Tim deserves.
I know.
So, you should check out...
We are just terrible.
Or the best. Could go either way. It can't. Check out brigadecon.org. We are not officially associated with it, so nobody at BrigadeCon
right now, Andre Martinez
microphone.
Is sweating bullets and cursing my name. I'm just kidding. I love him.
Check out brigadecon.org. It's an all-day gaming convention where you can... It's online, so you can watch people play. Yeah. You can play in games. You can run games. Just a great time. It's on October 29th, and all of the proceeds raised through this, whether through donations or buying T-shirts, a few other things, all go to Child's Play. So even if you just come and watch, you can win prizes. There are giveaways. Like I said, a lot of really good role-playing, a few panels. It's going to be a great time.
Exactly. So be a part. We're going to be gaming that day. We're going to be running a panel that day. It's going to be phenomenal. Subscribe if you haven't already. Trust me. It'll only get better before it gets worse. I'm lying to you. As I ask for something, I'm lying. Anyway, I'm Tim. This is James. We're Tabletop Terrors. Thank you for watching. Please comment below. And until next time, May your dice roll high.